Hi everyone, my name is Charlie and today I have the Joy of Christmas book tag. I wasn't tagged by anyone, but I really enjoy Christmas and so I thought that I would do this tag. My friend Lindsay wanted to see the Christmas clock, so I carried it all the way from downstairs to show you. And, well, I have nothing to hold it up this high. So just know that the Christmas clock is there, and that every hour it chimes a different carol. You're probably going to hear it ticking. That's one of the worst things about it. It's loud tick. I really like Christmas, so I decided to do this tag. The tag was started by Samantha at Novels and Nonsense. I hope I got the channel title right. Anyway, let's start with it. First one, question. Are we calling them questions? I don't know. The first thing, anticipation. Christmas excitement is real. What book release or releases are you most anticipating? I have chosen 3. One is Truthwitch by Susan Dennard. I really enjoyed the Something Strange and Deadly series, and Truthwitch is her first foray into the fantasy genre, and I've read the first chapter and I'm not overall sold on the style, but as she is an author that I really admire, I'm excited for it anyway, and we will see when it comes out. Next is Lady Midnight by Cassandra Clare. I really enjoy the series she's written so far. I don't like The Iron Trial, but what can you do? So I'm really looking forward to Lady Midnight. And finally, just to be a good friend, because she got me to show the Christmas clock, I'm also really anticipating my friend Lindsay's first book. I've already read it. I've read that, and she's written a trilogy, a fantasy trilogy, and it's brilliant. And she still hasn't sent it off to an agent. And so I'm mentioning her in this video to try and, push her to edit it so that eventually she has an agent and I finally get the book. There we go. I'm being selfish. But it's Christmas. It's a time for being selfish. It's also about other things as well, but I really, really like it. Christmas songs and carols. What book or author can you not help but sing the praises of? This I chose Joanne Harris. Joanne Harris is a writer I knew nothing about. She wrote Chocolat, which was made into a film with Johnny Depp and Juliette Binoche, and this is the sequel to that book. And the book that I first saw of Joanne Harris's was Rune Marks, which is a story set with Norse gods after Ragnarok. And my mum decided that for that Christmas she was going to buy me the Lollipop Shoes because it was a new release by the same author, and I have to say that I wasn't going to read this. I decided it was a woman's book. Now this was before my days of staunch feminism, and so I wasn't going to read it. And then about a week later I was sat in my room and I can't remember what I was waiting for, but I was waiting for something, and so I picked up this book. And this book hooked me with the first line, which is, it is a relatively little known fact that over the course of a single year, about 20 million letters are delivered to the dead. And this book follows 3 perspectives: Jan, who's actually the Jan, Zosie, and one of Jan's daughters. I can't remember which one it is. It has magic. From then on, I continued to read Joanne Harris's works and really appreciate them, and I think the sequel to this, Peaches for Monsieur Le Carré, is brilliant. It's an astounding book, and Joanne Harris really knows how to use language and grammar to really satisfy the reader, and her prose is phenomenal. I use that word a lot about my favourite writers, and Joanne Harris is up there as one of them. And I do have a written review for the 3rd book, so I will link that down below. But yes, Joanne Harris, if you want a Christmas book, then read this book. It's set from Halloween to Christmas, and it's just brilliant. It's a brilliant book to read at Christmas. You will empathise with the characters, and there are dark, there's magic, there's everything you could possibly want. And this is one of the books that actually led me to read The Bloody Chamber by Angela Carter. So yes, I recommend this book, and I recommend the author to everybody, because everybody knows there's no such thing as women's fiction. Next we have Gingerbread Houses. What book or series has wonderful world building? And for this I chose Harry Potter. I'm showing this book because it's the first Harry Potter book that I owned, and it's my favourite. I think I've reached that point with reading Harry Potter that whenever you go back to reading them it feels like home, and every time I read it I know what's going to happen, and it's better every time, and it's one of those books that you can pick up on different things each time you read it. And there's a joke in the first book, very early on in the first book, that for years I kept getting stuck on. And now when I read it, I keep thinking of all the years that I got stuck reading this joke and not properly understanding it. So the world building is fantastic. I think everyone wants to try butterbeer, but butterbeer as it's described in the book, because apparently the stuff that we make isn't anything like they imagine it. And the reason I also hold up this book is because when they go down to the kitchens in this book, it's just, for me, it's one of my favourite scenes, and I don't know why, apart from the fact that it's at Hogwarts and you're seeing a different dimension of Hogwarts that you've seen mentioned, and it's brilliant. Of course it's brilliant. It's J.K. Rowling, it's Harry Potter, and again, I keep saying I'm not going to reread this year, but I have a month. I could probably... No. I have to stop myself from rereading that book, because there are too many books on my shelves and I could easily reread that all the time. Next we have A Christmas Carol. Favourite classic or one you want to read? Going to be that person is A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, and this one is the edition that is illustrated by Robert Ingpen. When I was younger, A Muppet's Christmas Carol was one of my favourite films. I've already talked about how I thought Michael Caine was Charles Dickens for years. And then I saw Scrooge with Albert Finney, and I really liked that adaptation. I've liked a lot of the adaptations that they've done since then. And when I reached the age that I thought I was old enough to read it, I found A Christmas Carol in the charity shop. And I bought it, and then I have 4 copies now anyway, but I then chose to get the illustrated edition because Robert Ingpen does really nice illustrated editions of books, and I think that A Christmas Carol is just a brilliant classic. If you want to start with a classic, then it's rather short, but it has magic, it has love, it has probably... I think this is my favourite Dickens book, even surpassing the Pickwick Papers, simply because of the themes in it, and I think that it's just brilliant. But that's because it's Christmas, and who doesn't like Christmas? If you don't like Christmas, I'm sorry. I'm sorry for you. Because Christmas is the best time of year. They even wrote a song about it, if you didn't know. So, yeah, A Christmas Carol is my favourite classic, and if it's not yours, I don't know what you're doing wrong with life, but you are. Next we have Christmas Sweets. What book would you love to receive for Christmas? And for me, it's The Rabbi's Cat by Johann Svar. It's a graphic novel that follows a cat who gains the ability to talk, and the first thing he does is tell lies. The book explores anti-Semitism, religion, philosophy, and the need for religion, but also it has all these big ideas, but it tells them with such a simplistic style of art that it works brilliantly. And I got it out of the library last year and then immediately watched the film afterwards. The film is available to watch on Netflix. It's French with subtitles. I've since read his other books. I've read The Professor's Daughter and started his Dungeon series, and I just think that Johann Svar is a brilliant storyteller, and I think The Rabbi's Cat is just a great story, and it's sad that it's not on my shelves. Candles in the Window. What book gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling? And because I'm trying not to say Harry Potter as much... Oh, I've lost her. I've lost her. I lost her book. I've lost a book. I lost a book. I lost a book. Oh, it's right here in front of me. And the book I chose for this was Sort of Like a Rockstar by Matthew Quick. I only read it in November, and it's heartwarming. And even though there's a tragedy, it's still an extremely heartwarming book. It follows Amber Appleton, who's an incredibly hopeful girl who, when this tragedy occurs, she wonders whether she can still be hopeful. And again, a really good book, heartwarming, and I know it's YA, but you want heartwarming, you want warm and fuzzy, you go for a hopeful book. And this one is incredibly hopeful, and apparently you can go for Pollyanna as well. I'm going to mention it every time I mention this book because I'm still not over it. So this one, Christmas trees and decorations, what are some of your favourite book covers? Now at first I thought it was just one, so I went for The Night Circus by Erin Morgenstern, which is just, it's a very good book to read. It's a brilliant book to read, but then it's also very, 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 very nice. Very nice indeed. And I'm going to reread this at some point because I'm dubbing 2016 the year of rereads. I tried to go, you know, the whole naught by 2016 thing. It's not happened. But I don't have as many books as I did, so it gives me a chance to reread some. I will probably be culling some off my shelves, but we'll see in the future. I also have The Gracekeepers by Kirsty Logan, because I just think this is a beautiful book, and I will read it. I will read it. And then I'm not moving my clock again, but The Miniaturist is behind there, and that's a beautiful book as well. And finally, I think, yes, finally, we are here. At question number 8. What are some of your favourite things about Christmas and or your favourite Christmas memories? So, firstly, I'm going to do this backwards. And I'm going to talk about what isn't really a favourite Christmas memory, but it's a Christmas memory that I think sticks out for everyone in my family, and it's the story of the doll's house. So, it's 1996. Me and my sister are in our room. She's just had a new doll's house for Christmas, and it is set at the bottom of her bed next to a set of drawers. She's stood on top of the set of drawers as we are playing Stars in Their Eyes, and she's singing a song. I can't remember the song, but I do remember telling her to go right so she didn't fall off the drawers, and she went left and fell off the drawers, and she crushed her doll's house, and I had to cope with that guilt for years. A lot of years. 19 years, in fact, because this year I bought her a second-hand doll's house just to placate, I don't know, placate some of the guilt that I felt deep inside for all these years, because I feel incredibly guilty about things I shouldn't feel guilty about. So, that was that. The next story is The Year My Mother Forgot, in which my mum decided to get said sister an iPod, and I was fine with that. I was like, you know, get her an iPod, it's what she really wants. Santa Claus is coming to town and all that, and I have other family members. They'll get me things. Yeah. That didn't work out. That didn't work out, and that's the year Charlie got nothing. Because his mother forgot. His mother forgot her firstborn. Will I ever let her live it down? No. Why? Because I'm a horrible person, and that is what Christmas is about. Making people feel incredibly guilty about things they shouldn't feel guilty for. I'm really being horrible about Christmas right now, but do know that it is actually the most wonderful time of the year, my favourite time of the year. And one of the reasons why is Christmas morning. Now, my father's always woken us up early, so sometimes it can be 4 o'clock in the morning, sometimes it can be 6 o'clock. Last year it was 6, but that was just because my mum and my sister had to work, so it wasn't 4 o'clock, and we open our presents. But the thing about Christmas morning that's really nice is after you've opened all of your presents and you're all just going about your day then, and people are cooking, and it's before all the arguments start, you know, after you've been awake that long that you now hate everyone. And you will cut a bitch. You will. You will slit her throat and steal her candy. That is how, that's what happens on Christmas Day. I'm not lying. I'm not lying. Anyway. The best thing is the silence. Because nobody is outside. Because everybody is still at home. And a lot of people don't have to work. There are people who have to work on Christmas Day, and my heart goes out to them because I know that I couldn't do it because Christmas. And I just... It can be an incredibly sad time because of people being lonely, and the job I work in, you should like be telling people, you know, that there are people out there who are lonely, but for me, the silence and the quiet and knowing that a lot of people are actually getting to see their family is just brilliant. And there's also gingerbread. German gingerbread. German gingerbread has a lot to answer for about why these cheeks are so large, really. Because it is one of the best things in the world. When I was younger, when I was like little, you know, last year, I used to think it tasted of stars. I was like, I would take a bite, and it's like there's like this crunch and and then this softness and this flavour, and it was what I thought stars would taste of. It also helped that some of them were shaped like stars, but you know, this was Charlie. Oh, you've got me thinking about all the things. I also discovered a great way to make gingerbread hot chocolate is by mixing gingerbread latte mix with hot chocolate and just boiling it in a pan of milk on the stove. Brilliant, and saves me a lot of time and mess. Oh, these are the things. These are brilliant things. Do you want to see the clock again? Look, it's a Christmas clock. Because I haven't decorated for Christmas. It's the 1st of December. It's the 1st of December and I've not decorated yet. To be fair, I can't decorate yet. Because it involves getting someone to climb on someone's shoulders and go into the loft and get stuff. And it takes a lot of time and effort, and I didn't get to this size by doing any work. So, you know, just Merry Christmas, and until next time, that is all.